Take the deck off. Get these scalping wheels raised. Right down to your right here is your, put it in 4-wheel drive, so let's get it started up. The tractor won't start if you're in gears. It's a safety thing, just like most vehicles. This is how I usually, I'll put the deck up like this, lean it against the tractor, just like that. So what we're going to do is take off the blades. So this one's got a pretty good chunk out of it, you see that? We're going to take the blades off, get rid of all this crud, give it a good pressure wash. Look at what I found in the, this was stuck in here. So golf balls don't really survive, but the blades are in pretty good shape, but we'll give them a quick tune up. We got some stuff growing there. I think this blade's the worst here. All the other ones shouldn't take too long. So we'll get all the tools and we'll show you what tools we're using. What I usually use for this is the impact to get the blades off, and 24mm socket. I have a little bench grinder here to do the blades. Or if you don't have a bench grinder, you can grab a angle grinder, and these sanding kind of they're not quite flappers, but these sanding discs work really great. If you don't have an angle grinder or a bench grinder, the good old file will work. It's going to take you a while, but it'll work. And I've just got a little putty knife, drywall knife. I use to scrape as much gunk off as I can before I pressure wash it. So we'll get the bottom all done. Okay, we'll take the blades off, scrape all the gunk off, and give it a good pressure wash and look for any damage. So we'll show you that. Okay, so what's nice about the impact is you can you don't have to grab the blade and then have a big breaker bar to get this off. You know, some guys put blocks of wood in here in between here. That works too, but it might it could possibly bend this. I don't think it could on this big of a mower, but you know, little push behind mowers it might. So I'll show you this coming off here. So there's the one. Okay, make sure you put your blades back on the right way too. Okay, so you want your cutting blade down and your high lift up. Okay, so there's one blade off. Pretty good shape, you know, some damage. So we'll take the other blades off. Make sure you got your socket on there good. Spin that guy out. And then the last one. This one's got a bit of twine or something on it, so let's get that off. There, had something on it. Again, make sure your socket's seated good, and then just give her. You want to get this, get all that gunk out of there. Don't lose your bolt and washers in the process though. So we'll get this cleaned up and then give it a wash. We got some serious growth going on here. What's the first thing we do before we start the equipment? Or anything with the motor? So check the oil, right? Especially something we haven't used for a few months. So take the dipstick out. Okay. Always check the oil, especially in big equipment. Okay. So the oil's good. Okay. And it still looks very clean. Okay, when we turn the gas open, okay, you gotta open the fuel valve down here. And we want to turn it to start, which is this kind of the same thing as the choke, okay? So once it gets running, you'll need to flip this over, okay? So let's give it a try. Oh, there's a kill switch over here. I forgot about that. We gotta turn the kill switch on. Okay. Well, it's pressure washed, and can see what the grass and stuff does to the metal over time. This deck is probably 5 years old.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years old. So that's what a 5 or 6 year old deck looks like. And what you want to try and do is keep this angle, okay? So it might be kind of hard with this grinder, but give it a shot here. Just gonna have to okay, so just kind of hold it there. Get the angle. What you don't want to do is hold it in one spot for too long. Okay, so it's getting not bad, but see how it's really wavy? It's from Dad going kind of like when he's grinding.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll do is we'll give him a quick rough grind with the bench grinder, and then we'll fine tune the angle with, so we still got the angle there. So we'll fine tune the angle with the, where's the grit? So what we did is we took the brunt off with the bench grinder, and then we did the angle grinder. What you never want to do is run your finger across, okay? As simple as it may sound, son, I've seen people do that. Something brand new sharper and they go, ooh, it's really sharp, and then they cut their finger to the bone, okay? So you always check like this. You can feel it grab your skin, okay? Try it. You feel that edge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll just get rid of that. Try to hold your file as flat as you can. Get rid of those burrs, okay? Oh, almost hit the wrong nail there. Do you think that's ready to go back on the mower?
What?
Does it look balanced?
No.
Okay, so what's that telling us?
This side needs more weight.
That's right. So what do we got to do?
Sand more off of this.
That's right. So we got to take some off this side. All right, I think we got it fairly balanced. If it'll ever stop swaying. What do you think?
Looks good.
I think that's pretty darn close. So we'll do the other blades and then we'll show you how they go back on the tractor. Blades back on. So what we did, we took the bench grinder, angle grinder, and then the file to get the burrs off and just kind of fine tune them. And then we'll tighten these bolts down to 90 pounds. Okay, torque them down to 90 pounds. The one thing I just noticed, Caden, was you've got the blades on backwards, so you've got to flip these around, okay? So we've got to flip them around so that it's all flat along the bottom, okay? So let's get them flipped around. You got that one done already? Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll flip that one around. Alright. So there, that's how they should look. With the flat part along the bottom there. Just like that. Okay. Alright, you remember that next time we do this? Alright, so we'll again put this 90 pounds for the bolts and make sure your blades are put back on properly. We'll show you how that mows. We got the mower all clean, and then I took these pulley covers off, which also act as the drive over ramps when you go to put the mower back on the tractor. We'll get this one back on one-handed. Okay, and what I like to do is you can see where the nuts used to be, so when I go to tighten them up, I'll probably get them in the same spot as where they were before. So we'll get these on, and then you've got these 3 grease nipples here. There's one there, one there, and one over there, and I think that's it. We'll throw a bit more grease on that. So in all, probably took probably about 2 hours to do all this, but in real time it's been about 4 or 5, because the boys want to know what's going on, and then they want to start doing other projects like repairing shovels and blowing bubbles and leaving tools and messes all over the place for Dad to clean up. But they're pretty good boys, and I love them. Will you help me put the mower back on?
Yeah, I guess I can
You can
do that.
film me put the mower on.
Okay.
Put the mower on.
I'll try.